Hi everybody, my name is Caden.
I'm Jaden.
I'm Nicole.
I'm Eli.
And I'm Jason.
And we're the Yahushua Torah YouTube channel, and it's the Day of Atonement. Yay!
All right. Should we be cheering for the Day of Atonement?
I think so. I'll be like,
Repent, Day of Repentance.
All right.
Or are we going to do like
it's the
the
Day
Pharisees?
of Atonement.
Oh. Yeah, bummer. Yeah, and we had a little silence there because I was trying to get Nicole to actually start up, and she refused to start up here. So we always have that. It's a little fun when we do our startup because nobody actually knows who's going to start. And neither do I up until I just decide to point at somebody, and then we begin just like that. And it is a Day of Atonement. It's called Yom Kippur. And is anybody here hungry?
I woke up hungry.
You woke up hungry, Jade?
Not really, not yet.
You're not complaining yet?
Not yet.
Okay, well, you shouldn't complain because Messiah Yahushua said that we shouldn't do that. Eli, you hungry?
A little bit, not much.
A little bit. That's good. Nicole, you hungry?
No.
No. So here we are. All right. So today is that day of Yom Kippur. Today is month 7. It is the 5th day of our week, which is a Thor's day on the Gregorian calendar. And I probably shouldn't even be saying that day because that is a mighty one, Thor. And so here it is. The day 10 is Yom Kippur. From today all day until sunset today, we are to be atoning for our issues, the things that we have that we want to get right. And we kind of have this discussion around here, and it's one of these things that we can look at on these day. And I told the boys every time their stomach starts grumbling to start praising Elohim because he has definitely set us apart and definitely taken care of us. And there is so much to be thankful for, and there's so much repentance that we need to have. And we, I won't throw anyone under the bus, but I think it's in all households. I think it's real easy that we can say things that disturb others, and they're things that are probably better left unsaid. And so when we do things of that nature, we are definitely not pleasing our Creator. And so we're definitely not living like our Messiah lived and things of that nature. So there's a lot of ways that I think all of us can come and understand that we need repentance, and that this day is a day about getting things right, figuring things out. And it shouldn't just be a day. We should live in repentance. We should be living this, and we should understand that our Creator owes us absolutely nothing, and we owe him absolutely everything. And so when we have that figured out, we should be on bended knees as willing servants to do whatever it is that he wants at all times. So with that, let's get into the handy dandy split screen. I botched it. And we're there. Thanks. Cade, Eli, thank you guys very much. My drummers. Got my drummers here. Eli. All right, so we are going into Matthew 7. And I would have to say, without a shadow of a doubt, I quote from this chapter probably more than any other chapter in the scriptures. I don't know if that's true. I quote a lot from the Torah, but it seems like nobody wants to hear anything from the Torah, especially when you're dealing with Christians. The last thing on their mind is keeping the laws, statutes, and commands of our Creator. And we believe that the laws, statutes, and commands of our Creator are good for all times. We believe that Messiah Yahushua, and again, I guess I'm the only one here at this table that says Yahushua. Yahushua. So Yahushua is who most people know as Jesus the Christ. There were no J's in Hebrew. The name never existed until 1611 when the king put in a false name of our Messiah. And it's something we should definitely take to note. Okay, so Matthew 7, it begins, and I guess the footnote in, not even a footnote, but the title in NIV says Judging Others. And this is, even though I quote from this all the time, the Christians will actually quote some of this back, because this is verse 1 is what the Christians always say, right? The Christians do not want to be judged because they know with what they judge, they will be judged with. But the thing is, we should all be judged by something. What should we be judged by?
The Torah. Actions.
Actions, that's very good. And also our actions based upon the walk in the Torah, right? And so are we told, before we even begin this, are we told not to judge people?
No, I think this is more of a judging of, do not judge people based on other things outside of their actions. There's, do not base. You say someone is short or something like that, and you sit there and mess with them for their shortness. That's judging them for their shortness. If you're gonna get judged for that.
So we shouldn't make fun of midgets. That's what you're
No,
saying?
don't make fun of
Absolutely not.
anyone. Don't judge people for their appearances. Don't judge people for their circumstance in life. You need to judge them based on their actions and how they speak.
But what happens if we have a neighbor and he is he's doing great evil, or you see that your neighbor went off into his other neighbor's field and lit a fire on it?
Well, justice needs to be done. You need to go. This is where you.
But it says right there, it says judge not, that we're not judged.
We're not judging, we are witnessing.
You're witnessing. You need to bring this before your neighbor. You need to bring this before some form of authority to deal. I mean,
Says who?
that's a crime that's committed. It's according to the Torah.
Okay,
The Torah
what
says,
Torah command?
if you see something, say something, right? I don't
Yeah.
remember. That's not
Well,
the
that's-
command's
that's-
name.
that's-
That's how I know. That's the witness thing. But that's what you're supposed to do. According to the Torah, that's what you're supposed to do. If you leave something unsaid that needs to be said when there's something that's a crime being committed or there's a judgment that needs to be brought on, you're just letting evil reign, and that's into the Torah. You're just as bad as that person.
Yeah, so this is going to be a wild chapter. So let's get into this. Okay, verse 1. Judge not, that ye be not judged. For with what judgment ye judge, ye shall be judged. And with what measure ye meet, it shall be measured to you again. Okay, any comments on this right here? I mean, this is...
Basically, if you judge someone based on something, and Yahuwah's gonna judge you the same way.
What did Messiah... Was it yesterday that I read that? What did Messiah Yahushua say about how we would be judged? Or was that today's? I might have read it a little earlier. Maybe it's today's. So he basically says if we're judging people, we will be our Creator will judge us in that same fashion, and so there's not going to be any kind of mercy for if we are evil people doing evil stuff. Okay, 3. And why behold you the mote that is in your brother's eye, but consider not the beam that is in your own eye?
NIV says speck of sawdust,
Speck
not
of
mote.
Yeah, speck of. I don't know what mote is, but I guess mote would be a speck of sawdust.
Isn't moat like a thing they dig around a castle and put water in?
That is a moat. That's definitely a moat. I think that might be M-O-A-T though. I don't know. Maybe it's M-O-T-E. This is M-O-T-E. I don't know.
Mine says small particle.
Small
Mine
particle.
says splinter.
Okay, let's talk about this. You guys, this is a very important thing, right? It's happened. How many times in this house have you guys heard this from me? A lot, and it is very, very true, because we'll sit there, we will condemn each other when there is a giant plank in our eyes, right? We will turn to the left and we knock somebody off the chair because we knocked them out with a 2x4 because it was coming out of our eye. When it's easy to do this, is it not?
Yeah.
How is it, Jade?
You're basically doing the same thing you tell someone else not to do.
Right, and
Or you're trying to clean up someone else's life when they just have a small issue and you have huge issues and you're not dealing with it. You need to deal with your issues before you deal with someone else's issues.
yeah. Okay, so first thing, was there anything? Judge not, yes, should be judged. That's a command. We have not actually heard that before, and so
Well, don't judge unrighteously.
Yeah.
don't judge unrighteously. But this is something different, but it applies in different ways. This is not a going against the Torah in any way, shape, or form. It's what this is doing. What Messiah Yahushua was doing is helping us to fine-ite our walk in the Torah. These are excellent details that will fulfill the Torah, that will give us the final pieces of what we need, how we need to walk this, and how our Creator would like us to walk it by the example of His Son. So judge not that ye be judged, that ye be not judged is a command, right?
Right.
Okay, so you have that, Nicole?
Yeah.
Are you adding these in?
Yeah.
Okay.
4.
Or how will you say to your brother, let me pull out the mote out of your eye, and behold, a beam is in your own eye. And these are interesting things to say, right? You will, especially the Christians. The Christians will come up to Torah keepers. The Christians will completely judge you, as well as us. We judge those who do not keep the Torah. We judge them that they should be keeping the Torah because it says we should be keeping the Torah for all generations. But that's the awesome thing about free will. We are able to do what we want to do, how we want to do it, and a lot of people have this mixed up. A lot of people are not seeking our Creator. A lot of people do truly live as they want to live. Okay, 5. You hypocrite, first cast out the beam out of your own eye, and then shall you clearly see. Let me try that again. And then shall you see clearly to cast out the mote out of your brother's eye. Very hard things to hear to some people. This is very important. Okay, so you got that, Nicole?
Is it all under the judge?
It's 3. No, so judge not versus. I don't. I think
it's
so.
all one.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's all the same stuff. It's explaining the judgment, right? It's not, that a lot of people will go, judge not that ye be not judged, and they'll leave it at that, and they don't want to hear anything else. But there's a qualifications here for that, and so all the way to 5. Yeah, so 1 through 5 is all one. Okay, next. Give not that which is holy unto the dogs, neither cast ye your pearls before swine, lest they trample them under their feet, and turn again and rend you. Okay, your mother and I were discussing this last night. She wasn't exactly sure about this. Maybe you guys could figure it out. Let's see if you guys figure it out, and I will try to give it to you. Why would we not give pearls into swine? What does that mean?
So I think
It's
it's
like throwing something good out for them to like destroy it.
What would pigs do with pearls?
they would
Absolutely
nothing.
nothing.
They'd stomp on them. They would crush them in the mud. You'd never see them again.
Yeah, it'd be just crushed in there, right? And so,
Oh, I think it's saying don't give away good things to people that will just destroy it, or don't give words to people that will just trample over what you say.
what does it mean? Give not which is holy unto the dogs.
Probably a showbread. Or something of like that.
Showbread or something that you. I mean, what
Or
does
some
it?
of you are ordained to give to Yah.
Or what or something? I mean, what are dogs going to do to anything you give them?
Eat it. They're gonna eat it. They're
Eat
gonna
it, or they'll
and
destroy it. They'll rip it to
tear
shreds
up.
or something of the sort, right? And so, what does that mean exactly, though? Why would they be giving holy? Why would they be giving showbread to the dogs?
The dog is
Okay, what do Hebrews think of dogs? What do they say? What not
the goyim.
the goyim, right? And so that is, and that's not all Hebrews. That is the Judaism. That's the evil side of the Judaism, where they have 25 other books that they call the Talmud, and they call you a dog, and you're less.
So he's saying don't give the bread to the Gentiles.
Yeah, and so basically, this is what it is. You can sit here and you can argue with Christians all day long. You can show them scripture. You can show them scripture. You can show them scripture. And what do?
They trample on it like pigs.
They trample on it, right? And so when we give them something holy, what is it? What are we giving them that's holy?
the Torah. We're giving them advice, biblical advice.
Yeah, and what do? They trample
throw
it
it
under their
away.
feet. Yeah, they don't care about it. They trample it under their feet, and then they turn again and rend you. And what does that mean?
They come back and they tear you. to
They
pieces.
attack you. Yeah, they absolutely attack you. They do not want to hear this. So this is a commandment. He's not giving advice. He's saying give not. So that is something. And in NIV it says do not give dogs what is sacred. Does this mean that we do not minister to people? That we do not, because every single day Boss Clan gets completely annihilated. I would show you guys some bit shoot stuff, but unfortunately the bombs are so vast on it that I can't show anyone anything. I can't even do lessons on it because the guys swear so much about it.
We could probably edit it. And it'll blow
I'd
stuff out.
have to blur stuff out and take a whole bunch of time to do this, but my point is that I sit there every single day and I always reply back to them. They swear at me, they go off on me, and I will tell them kindly. I said, hey, just so you guys know, I mean, if you guys are supposed Christians, your doctrine is that you're actually not supposed to be yelling at me and swearing at me at this. And one guy says, you're not worth it. You're somebody else because you have a different doctrine. And it's because we go against what Paul says. And again, that hurts people, and we have people unsubscribe all the time. And you know what? If you're broken that we are telling you the truth on Paul, hit that unsubscribe button. Hit it and continue on in the way that you guys are at. Okay, so let's go into, so you got that, Nicole?
Yeah.
Okay, 7. Ask, and it shall be given to you. Seek, and you shall find. Knock, and it shall be opened unto you. For everyone that asks receives, and he that seeks finds, and to him that knocks it shall be open. What is he talking about?
Asking Yahuwah.
Yeah, well, what is it?
I think wisdom.
Wisdom could be
the
one.
Torah.
Wisdom could be one. Advice from the Ruach HaKodesh, right? Whatever it is.
The truth, mysteries, like Enoch, who have a lot of mystery that Enoch didn't see. He's like, ask and it will be given to you. You got to really seek these things out. Like when we're told wisdom, we're told to search out wisdom in the gates. We're told to search out for the Holy Spirit wherever we can find it.
Yeah, and it says in 8, for everyone that asks receives, and he that seeks find, and to him that knocks it shall be open. Now, Is tossing the laws and statutes and commands on the cross, is that seeking?
No.
Is that knocking on anything?
The anti-seek.
It's the anti-seek. Yeah, it doesn't make much sense. But it clearly says here, and we have all grown up with a Bible next to our nightstand, most of us. And if not, you've definitely been in a motel. People have been in motels. Across a motel, there has always been a Bible, even though it's by the Gideons, and I'm not getting into that. But we've had an opportunity all our life to seek. We have had an opportunity to knock. We have had an opportunity to receive, but we have not been receptive to that message. And so it clearly says here. Now, is this a command or what? I mean, it clearly says, ask and it shall be given to you. Is this a command or not?
I don't see it as a command. He's not demanding you to ask. He's like, if you ask, you will receive.
Let's look at this, everyone. For everyone that asks, and he shall seek, finds. I mean, this is things we don't know yet, right? We don't know this, right? Exactly. Anyone?
I don't know. I don't know if it's exactly a command. Like where above he's like, just don't throw a pearl before swine. Here he just says, if you ask, it will be given to you.
Look, if I asked you guys, I told you guys, ask and let it be done, right? What am I saying to you?
We can ask anything and it will be given to us.
Well, ask is a command. It's a ask and it will be given to you. That is a command right there. You're telling somebody to do something, right? And then he's also going on, seek and you shall find. Knock and the door will be open to you.
He says it twice. Look in 7 and 8. They say almost the exact same thing.
For everyone that asks, receives. So, I mean, what do we know about when people repeat things in Hebrew?
Oh, that's important.
It's very important. That's how they don't have exclamation points and things of that nature. They repeat it twice, and that means they think it as gospel, and it is something that we need to listen up. Hear, 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 hear. So, yes, it is some sort of a command, I believe. Anyone?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay, and so what is the command? Are you doing these right now, Nicole?
Yeah.
Okay, so what is the command we're looking for?
Ask and it shall be given.
Ask, seek, and knock, and it will be given. Ask, seek, and knock. And you don't do that without a little bit of unlaziness. You can't be lazy doing this. Okay, 9. Or what man is there of you whom if his son ask bread, will he give him a stone? Or if he ask a fish, will he give him a serpent? If ye then, being evil, know how to give good gifts unto your children, how much more shall your Father which is in heaven give good things to them that ask him? So I think 9, 10, and 11 would go with the last part of that.
And it's like a reinforcement.
Yeah, he's qualifying. He's showing you why. And I mean, yeah, what sense? Have I ever given you guys a stone?
I don't think so.
You might have some rocks or
Oh
something.
yeah, I think I asked like little rocks you had or something.
I don't think I put the rocks in there. That might be your mom. She might actually put a rock in there or something. Didn't we have a rock in the food one time?
Not the food.
No.
No, you gave me like a little rock collection one time.
Oh, rock, like I'm talking about rocks. This guy's talking about food to eat. This guy, if the man of you whom has asked for bread, will give him a stone. Have you guys ever asked for bread and I've given you a stone?
No.
We did have rock in a bread one time, didn't we?
No.
I'm sure Nicole doesn't want to go on. Eli, you know this one.
It was something hard.
It was something hard. We don't know what it was. Somehow something ended up in the bread. But everything's homemade, so you never know what's going to end up in there.
No, that was when they dropped the fencing nail in the muffin.
Oh,
yeah.
They dropped the fencing nail in the muffin. I remember that. They ended up with a fencing nail in their muffin. We're like, how did this get in here?
Mom doesn't fence.
Yeah, Mom wasn't about fencing. All right, let's go. 12. Therefore, all things whatsoever ye would that men should do to you, do ye even so to them, for this is the Torah and the prophets. Wow. Okay. Okay, so I mean, there it is right there. And I mean, this is where the Christians will hang on this right here. And this is what the guy told me the other day. He's like, yes, I love my neighbors myself. That's right before he told me that he doesn't have to. That's right before he started dropping bombs on me and telling me how worthless I was. He says, I keep the Torah because I love my neighbor. I'm like, dude, I'm your neighbor. I'm your brother. But I guess I wasn't his neighbor at that point. But so this is the commandment, right?
Right.
Whatever you do
unto others.
Do to others. Yeah, and everything do to others, which you would have them do to you. Do unto others before they do unto you.
No.
Is that how it goes? No.
No, therefore,
That's not
whatever
it.
you want men to do to you, do also to them. For this is the Torah and the Nebium.
Yeah.
That was called the Golden Rule.
Yeah, this is called the golden rule.
Except they didn't add the Torah
He
and
who has the
prophets.
gold makes the rules.
They said they never added the Torah and the prophets
That's
at the
not
end
it
of it.
either.
That's not it either. Dang it. Okay, no, that's not it. I'm just kidding, guys. This is a little bit of humor here on our day of affliction. All right, so we have that, Nicole?
Yes.
Okay, so that's very important. What does that mean, guys? It says, for this is the Torah and the prophets. What does that mean?
Basically, that is what the Torah stands for.
That's what it's summed up in. If you are loving your neighbor, you're not gonna go punch his tooth out, right? You're not gonna go steal from him. You're not gonna go cheat on him with his wife. You're not going to go rob his house. You're not going to burn his land up. You're not gonna steal his cattle. You're going to treat him as an equal human being.
Treat him
You're
as
going
you
to
would want to
love
be
him.
treated.
You're going to teach him the Torah. It's the same as loving Yah. You're not going to break his commands. You're not going to go eat pork. You're not going to worship another god on Sunday.
Yeah, so when we're talking about this stuff right here, and I don't know where I was going to go with this, but does this mean the Torah doesn't exist anymore, or does this mean?
It seems like it does because he's telling you do unto others, and this is the Torah.
If there was a way to sum it up, it would be love your neighbor, and it would be to love Yahuwah. That would be the way to sum up the Torah.
That's what Messiah said.
That's the way to sum it up. But people will take that and say, well, right here, Jesus said we don't need the Torah anymore because we just need to love Yah. But how are you going to love Yah? You're just going to say, I love you, and that's it? I mean, you need to understand what the fine line of loving Yah is. What he defined is loving him, to love him.
Yeah, in everything, let's read the NIV real quick. So in everything, do to others what you would have them do to you. For this sums up the law and the prophets. Okay, it doesn't say it abolishes the law and the prophets. It doesn't say it exits the law and the prophets. It says it sums it up. What does that mean when we sum something up?
It means it's a quick, brief explanation of something.
If I want a sum of some numbers, what does that mean?
The final answer.
You're going to add this up. What is the sum? If it's 3 plus 3 is 6, what is the sum of 3 plus 3? That is 6. That's adding it up. It doesn't say it is gone by any shape. And so Christians will hang on to this, and they will eat their pork, and they will do very evil stuff, and that's where their doctrine is. Okay, this next is probably one of the awesomest, probably the most amazing. Probably this is the second. There's 2 things in this chapter that are just out of control, amazing. This is one of them. Everyone listen up. Enter ye in at the narrow gate, for wide is the gate, and broad is the way that leads to destruction, and many there be which go in thereat. Because narrow is the gate, and troublesome is the way which leads to life, and few there be that find it. Okay, do your guys say few find it?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
There are a few who find it.
Okay, let's talk about this real quick. So we have a narrow gate. What does that mean, a narrow gate?
I mean,
It
it
really
it's hard.
can't- it's
It's
really hard to
thin. It's
get
gonna be
through.
hard to
It
get
could be
into.
narrow, right? It could be. It doesn't mean a wide gate. It means a narrow gate. We have narrow gates here, right? We could have any one of our gates could be narrow. What does that mean? A narrow gate.
It means it's hard to get through. Not a lot of stuff gets through it.
So if we build a narrow gate for the cows that we are able to get in, and they're not, what does that mean?
It's
means
narrow.
It means it's close together, right? It's big enough that we can get our booties through, but we cannot. The cows are not able to get their stuff through. I probably should have said that. Nicole's looking at me like, we can get our bodies through, but we cannot get the cows through. Sorry, everyone. I don't know. I'm still out of the ghettos. I grew up in Babylon. I have issues. Okay, so we have a small gate, right? We have a small gate. What does that mean?
That means that not everyone's going to be able to fit into it. That means it's only meant for a few people.
There's 2 gates here, right? It says, for wide is the gate and broad is the way. Okay, so we have a small gate, and then it says there is a wide gate.
All right, so we're on basically this road, and we got to choose which gate we enter through.
Right, and so if we are looking at that small cow gate that we can barely get through, and for sure a big old cow isn't going to be able to get through, what does that mean? There is a broad way.
Cows can get through it. Everything can get through it.
He's telling us, Messiah right here is telling us there are 2 ways. There's basically 2 ways, not 2 ways to success, but there is a small gate and there's a large gate. And it says, what do we know about a large gate? What's going to be going through a large gate?
A lot of stuff, a lot of people.
Majority of the people, right? That's because it's easy to get through. if people were going through a narrow gate, they're going to have, like us, we'd have to turn sideways and slide through it to get through that narrow gate. It goes on this. It says, narrow is the gate. It's talking about the original one, right? The first gate. And it says, troublesome is the way, which leads to life. Why? What does it mean? It's troublesome that leads to life. What does this mean?
It's a hard path.
What is a hard path?
It's life. Trying to follow the Torah.
Is the Torah a hard life?
No, it's the
for other people. It is
for the
That's what they
tribulations.
think.
For the tribulations and trials.
Right, but does the Torah give us tribulation trials?
No,
Torah itself doesn't.
No, but the world around us is, and so if there is if it's troublesome, why is Messiah saying this? Why is it troublesome that it is hard to get through this narrow gate? What does this mean? What could he possibly mean?
He's saying that not everyone is going to live by the Torah. Not everyone is going to. They're all going to live how they want to live, and they're going to enter through the narrow gate, and on the other side is not what it's going to be what they expected.
Yeah, and it's, I guess, the key word, and this is, I've taught on this particular verse so many times. I've read it, and I love this. It says at the end, guys, it says, few there be that find it. We know right now in the Catholicism, there's 3 billion Catholics alone. 3 billion. Does 3 billion sound like a few to you?
No.
Okay, we know there's 65,000 different denominations and counting of man-made religions. Is that a few?
No.
60. I mean,
They have at least 1,000 people per denomination.
What does it mean? Well, few. How do we account for a few?
Not very many. I don't know how many the number is, but it's not going to be a lot.
If you look at the views on this channel, we have very few views, right? Very few views. When we were doing the Torah segment, we had even fewer views. There's not a lot of people out there that really care about what the Torah says. So what lesson do we find out of this? If we know Messiah said that few people are going to find the entry of the narrow gate, but the most of it is that leads to destruction, what can we leave just from this?
That the place where there's fewer people is probably the right way to go.
Yeah, the fewer people is the way to go. And second Ezra says that. He says that the kingdom is not made for a lot. It's made for a very few. So I don't know what a few is, honestly, but let's continue on. 15. Wake up, Belay. All right. Are you passed out?
Yeah.
Are you starving? Have you whittled away to nothing? Oh, he's gone, folks. Okay. Beware of false prophets, which come to you in sheep's clothing, but inwardly they are ravening wolves. Okay. What does this mean, folks? Beware of false prophets.
Beware of them, because people are going to come and try to take your soul.
How do we know what a false prophet is?
They go against the Torah.
Or their prophecy doesn't come true.
Their prophecy doesn't come true, but also, they like the guy J.D. Farag. Like he does prophecy updates all the time. He knows that he's like, oh, when sudden destruction comes, that's when it is. It's all about rapture. And so if you have a guy, any 501c3 guy is a false prophet, because they're all telling you that you're all going to be raptured. Look, a prophecy is we're all going to be raptured. We're all going to just be out of this, and this is the way it is. But Messiah Yahushua says, beware of false prophets. Nicole, did we get a commandment at the last one?
No.
We need a commandment at that. Sorry, guys.
Enter through the narrow gate. It's command.
Yeah, enter at the narrow gate. Enter at the narrow gate. Yep, 13 and 14 will go there. Okay. Inwardly they are ravening wolves, and absolutely. Let's qualify this a little bit more. Verse 16. Ye shall know them by their fruits. Do men gather grapes of thorns or figs of thistles? What does he mean? What does he mean, guys?
He's saying, do these people's fruits, do they show that they are actually of Yahuwah, or do they show that they're just after something else, or they're actually from the devil
He's
himself?
saying you can't get good fruits from like a spiky tree. I mean, some trees have spikes, but this is like obviously not the right thing.
Yeah, and it's
You're gonna gather grapes from like some thorn bush.
right, and you're not going to gather grapes and thorns, figs and thistles. You gather grapes in grapevines, and they don't. I mean, if you end up with thorns and thistles, your grapes are going to be not so good. Okay, Messiah Yahushua says, beware of false prophets. Okay, so we have that, Nicole?
Yep.
Okay, and then he qualifies it. We know them by their fruit. 17, even so, every good tree brings forth good fruit, but a corrupt tree brings forth evil fruit. What is evil fruit, friends?
It's like your works, what you do. It's like your actions.
Actions? Is that evil fruit?
I mean, if you're doing evil things, that's bad fruit.
Okay, right. But what is good fruit then?
The Torah.
The Torah. If you're doing the Torah, are you doing the will of the Creator? Is your
Well,
actions, is your works showing that you are of Yah?
The Christians will say it's not about works. It's about grace.
Well, yeah.
Grace, grace, grace. What does James say?
To show you his faith, he'll show you his faith by his works. He'll show you that he believes by what he follows.
Okay, yeah, absolutely. And so he says, a good tree cannot bring forth evil fruit, neither can a corrupt tree bring forth good fruit. What does he mean by this?
You're basically saying if you're a bad person, you're not going to show good works, you're not going to show love, you're going to be evil. But if you're a good person, you'll have good fruit. You'll show the Torah, you'll show love, you'll show kindness.
And that's the thing about these Christian preachers is they seem very nice. They seem very, very nice people. J.D. Farag, if you watch him, even though he's a heavy Christian, unfortunately he's a Satanist. He preaches another doctrine, but he's a very nice guy. He's very fun to watch and things of that nature. Does that mean he's evil or what? I mean, how do we know if he's evil or if he's not?
Well, if you're going against the Torah, if you're going against actual base sound doctrine of Yah, the doctrine straight from Yah, then that's evil. No, there's no way to put it. It doesn't matter how nice you are. If you're going against Yah, you're either on Satan's side or on Yah's side. There's no in between. There's no lukewarmness. There's no gray area. It's black or white, in which you have to choose which side you're on. There's no way to try and make it. You can try and spin as much as you can, take parts and verses out of the Bible saying it's okay if I do this, but not okay if I do that. You cannot do that. You have to really choose, are you on Yah's side or not? If you're not on Yah's side, if you're not doing what he said, which was keep my laws and your commandments, if you're not doing what sums up the Torah and the prophets, then you are evil.
Yeah, that's good. Good, very good, excellent. Okay, 19. Every tree that brings not forth good fruit is hewn down and cast into the fire. Wherefore, by their fruits ye shall know them. Okay, so I mean, that is how we know what people are. Where is their heart? What message are they teaching? What are they saying? Do they keep the Torah? Do they not keep the Torah? If they don't keep the Torah, you should never ever be listening to them to begin with. If they don't have the doctrine of Messiah Yahushua, then they're missing it, because you will have all these Jews of the Judaism that claim they keep the Torah, but it is not the Torah of Yah. It is the Torah of Hasatan, because it is the Talmud. It is 25 other books outside of the Torah. They violate Deuteronomy 4:2, and it's simple enough. What do they do? What kind of dress gear do they have? What kind of stuff do they put on? Is it unbiblical? Is it out of the Torah? And you will know. You will immediately know. But if you do not know the Torah, then you will not know what to look for. You will not know what red flags and what things you should be doing. Now, this is one of my favorite verses of all times, and nobody listens to this. I've taught before on this, and hopefully somebody at some point will listen to this, because this is it. Not everyone that says unto me, this is something everyone needs to understand. Messiah Yahushua is talking to absolutely everybody. Not everyone that says unto me, Adonai, Adonai, shall enter into the kingdom of heaven, but he that does the will of my Father which is in heaven. Okay, boys, what do you got?
Well, he's saying that not everyone's going to make it. It doesn't matter how good you are. Not everyone's going to make it. He says if you're doing the will of the Father. What was the will of the Father to be originally? And that was the will of the Father was the Torah. That is what it was. But people have spun it saying, Yah will tell me what his will is. I'm doing his will by being a Christian or something like that. But his will was to follow the Torah. That's what he had commanded all of us to do.
We hear the entire world. It says in the NIV, it says, not everyone who says to me, Lord, Lord. And that is the improper translation. It needs to be all uppercase, because Lord like that means Baal. And the king got it wrong as well. Sefer says Adonai, Adonai, which is master, right? And Lord, master, uppercase Lord. Who does this? Who goes, oh, master, Jesus? Who says this out of the gate?
Everyone in religion says they believe in the Lord.
Yeah, in fact, we've seen the Christians. We've literally seen people that bless their bacon right before they eat it, because we told them it's unclean food, and they're like, "Oh, honey, we bless that food before we eat it." We curse the demons out of that stuff, and that's Satan. It's satanic. It's very evil. It says, it qualifies it. It says everybody, that people are all going to think, they're going to go, Master, Master, Messiah Yahushua, Messiah Yahushua. And he's like, but they're saying, but he that does the will of my Father which is in heaven, right? Let's go into 22. Many will say to me in that day, Adonai, Adonai, have we not prophesied in your name, and in your name have cast out devils, and in your name done many wonderful works? And then I will profess unto them, I never knew you. Depart from me, ye workers of iniquity.
Now, lawlessness.
Lawlessness is the correct translation. Hallelujah Scriptures has that correct. Stephen Pidgeon went to the dark side again and went this. What is iniquity, guys?
Iniquity is lawlessness.
It's
There's
sin.
other translations where it's Torahlessness.
How do you know what sin is, Eli?
By transgressing the Torah. Sin. The Torah tells us what sin is.
And John, I think 1 John says, transgression of the Torah is sin.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's in 1 John. It is transgression of the Torah. So there's going to be some broken people on this day, right? It says, not everyone that says to me. I mean, everyone's going to come up to Messiah Yahushua, and they're going to go, Messiah Yahushua, Adonai, Adonai. And he's there. I mean, who among us? I mean, who's cast out devils? I don't know if I've ever cast out a devil and like seen it go. I mean, we definitely try to, but we've never seen it flee. But
Christians, they do these things all the time. They cast it out and
yeah, and in your name, yeah, they will cast it out, and they call it in the name of Jesus, which is not his name, but they do all of this stuff. This is a broken. Your people are going to be broken. People are going to be destroyed when verse 23 comes, because Messiah Yahushua says himself, "I never knew you." What does that mean? I never knew you.
He never had a relationship.
It's called rejection.
say, I don't even know who you were. I never known you. Who are you?
How would you guys feel if one day I looked at you guys and I said, guys, I have no idea who you are? What do you guys feel when I say that?
I would probably assume Alzheimer's, but I would be very upset because we went through life together. You raised me, and then I'd be like, okay, you don't know me. That's a little weird.
What happens if you grow up and you're different than what the Torah of the house is? And I'm like, I don't know you. I mean, what feelings do you guys get?
You might know me like as a person, but you don't know like what I do. You don't know like kind of like basically who I am.
Well, that's the same thing. He probably knows them as a person.
He knows their name. He knows who they are. He's watched them, but he doesn't know who they are.
So what feeling would you guys get when your parents or somebody in things said, I don't know you?
Probably disappointment,
sadness.
But at this point, when these people hear this, there's nothing that could ever be done. It's way too late, right? And so the Christians will take this and they don't care about this chapter. They don't care about anything here. But it is very, very clear. This is why there's a narrow gate and there's a wide gate to destruction, right? We have to be very, very careful, because if you are doing all of these things, and I mean, that's not a small thing. Prophesying in your name, casting out devils in your name, and having many wonderful works, that's a fairly large thing. These people did all this in the name of Messiah Yahushua, and they did not know him. That should be very troubling words for everybody that reads this. 24. Therefore, whosoever hears these sayings of mine and does them, I will liken him unto a wise man, which built his house upon a rock. And the rain descended, and the floods came, and the winds blew and beat upon that house, and it fell not, for it was founded upon a rock. And everyone that hears these sayings of mine and does them not shall be likened unto a foolish man, which built his house upon the sand. And the rain descended, and the floods came, and the winds blew and beat upon that house, and it fell, and great was its fall. Okay, Messiah Yahushua just called somebody a foolish man. We knew in the previous chapters that we're not supposed to call people a fool.
Well, he just gave you an example, like you're pretty foolish if you build your house on the sand. Your house is gonna fall over.
Yeah. Yeah,
I mean, he's not saying a certain person. He's just like basically giving an example of what someone foolish does.
Yeah, and what does a fool not do?
He doesn't base his life on the Torah. His foundation needs to be the Torah.
He has no foundation.
So that way, when he has no foundation, when any troubles come, he breaks down. He has nothing to rely on at this point. He has no foundation to stand upon.
Yeah, and if you do not have a Torah as your foundational structure, you will fall and you will get hurt badly. Great was his fall. 28. And it came to pass, when Yahushua had ended these sayings, the people were astonished at his doctrine. For he taught them as one having authority, and not as the scribes. Now, they're astonished at his doctrine. Are we astonished at his doctrine?
I feel like we aren't astonished at it because we follow this, because we are in the Torah. These people have never heard the Torah before. They've never heard these words.
I think these people have heard the Torah. These guys have definitely heard the Torah. So, what shall we say?
These dudes have Torah, but they've heard like kind of like the Talmud. They've been indoctrinated by the scribes and Pharisees. These dudes have been like teaching them all these years, like like birds and stuff. But he's teaching them different stuff now. He's like they haven't heard this stuff like don't be judged, because the Pharisees are probably judging everyone.
Absolutely.
They're probably up in everyone's business, doing everything, just judging everyone.
Yeah.
And so when he says these things, and then he's talking about like Judgment Day, this is probably surprising to them because
they don't believe in the Judgment Day.
One of them, Sadducees, don't.
One group doesn't believe in actually Judgment Day. They just believe in sleep and
Yeah,
forever.
Sadducees, I don't think believe in angels, or they don't believe in judgment either, or any of that.
So this is probably a lot of new stuff for them. They're probably like wondering if this is real. Some of them are probably angry with him for saying stuff. Some of them are probably confused, and some of them are even questioning why this is even real.
Yeah, and I would say this doesn't astonish us because we live in the world where we have the Torah written down for us. A lot of these people did not have Torah. They had to be read too. They had to be read too, and a lot of them were unschooled. They didn't read. They couldn't understand what's going on. So is this any different doctrine than what we know of is in the Torah?
No.
Anything at all?
He just gives us some good examples of how to be more friendly, be kinder, what to do on Judgment Day, like what's going to happen, stuff like that.
Yeah, how to fine tune this,
and how to live life better. Look for that narrow gate. Don't look for the path where there's few people. Don't go with the majority.
Yeah, and when we are looking at violators of Deuteronomy 4:2, that's what we're looking at. We always look at that. Are we adding to? Are we taking away? And I don't see this is simply a finite walking. It is giving us a clear way to do the Torah. It's not giving us another way. It's not giving us another set of commandments. It's just reinforcing what we already know and dialing it in as we know that we should be walking, because our Messiah was able to walk like this. So, all right. Anyone else have anything?
I think that's all for today. I think that's all we got.
That's it? All right. Well, thank you guys very, very much. Today is the Day of Atonement. Yeah, today is the Day of Atonement. You're supposed to afflict your souls, afflict your beans.
We fast for that. So.
Afflict your beans. I guess it's not a day to beat the children, although that would afflict the children.
It's afflicting other souls, not your soul.
Oh, okay. All right. So that is. You're right. Good call. All right.
So self-infliction pain.
Self-infliction. You want me oh, jeez, Eli.
No.
I like the beating the kids better. No. All right. Thank you guys very, very much. To our family out there, thank you guys very, very much. We love you all. We appreciate you all, and we hope you guys have a wonderful day.
All right.
Shalom.